Hi there, I'm Kaylee, licensed counselor and certified career counselor at the Lookout Point. And today I want to share with you some words and phrases I encourage my clients to change in their everyday language to shift their perspective in how they go about their day. And so some of these may seem kind of silly, but what I would encourage you to do is think about how often you use them and how you use them, and see if maybe there's times where that shift could actually take place. So the first word that I usually encourage people to change is the word but. The reason for this is usually when we're saying the word but, we negate the first part of any sentence we're saying. So if somebody says, "Hey, I like your hair," I might say, "Thanks, but I didn't wash it today." And when we do that, we completely negate our appreciation of the compliment, right? So the other side of that, what I want you to do instead is say the word and. I like your hair. Thanks. And I didn't wash it today. Now, in that example, it's kind of silly, and I get that. But I want to encourage you. See, there's my but. I want to encourage you, though, that when we shift that word from but to and, it changes how that sentence feels. We might say something like, "I understand how you're feeling, but I have a different perspective." And that immediately tells the person you don't understand how they're feeling. Where if you were to say, "I understand how you're feeling and I have a different perspective," it softens that sentence so that the person says, "Okay, maybe you get it. I get that you have a different perspective." Right? So when you have that opportunity, whether it's with your kids, where they're saying, "Can we go play outside?" And you say, "Yeah, you can," but that kind of shifts it into feeling like you're not actually saying yes, instead saying, "Yeah, you can, and please make sure you stay in our yard," or something like that, right? The next word or phrase that I think is really important to change, and this is one of the popular ones, but is the word should. I once heard somebody say, I can't claim it for my own creativity, but I once heard somebody say, "Don't should all over yourself." And it's kind of a funny thing. I get that. And it's also a really good reminder that when we say should all the time with our words, we are also putting ourselves in a place of obligation, and we're taking away our choice in the matter. So if I'm in school and I say, "Oh, I should get that homework done," if we don't finish that homework, we're going to feel awful. What I would encourage you to change that to is phrases like "it would be better if," or "it helps me if," or something like that. I don't think we always want to do something that feels like that, and that's why we say should, because it's something that we really don't want to do, and that's okay. There are times where we're feeling that pressure to do it because we truly know that it's the best option in that moment. So while I might say, "Oh, I should do homework," I can change that to, "It would be better for me to do homework tonight rather than first thing in the morning." The reality is that when you do that, you might actually find that it's better for you to do it first thing in the morning, and that is okay. We want to give you back that choice so that you're really intentional about your words and the ways that you look at your world. Now, there are several words and phrases that we can change in our lives. I have two more that I want to highlight. One of them I want to explain is the word "can't." And I want to explain this is not to say, "Oh, I can't do that in terms of an ability," or something like that. What I'm talking about is when somebody says, "Hey, do you want to go out to the movies tomorrow night?" If I say "I can't," and we follow that up with, an excuse, typically "can't" is going to be met with some kind of fix of that excuse. I'm just going to say, "Oh, well, you can postpone that thing, or you can study for that test later. This is more fun." When you truly don't want to do something, instead of saying "I can't," say "I don't want to tonight." You can be thankful. You can say, "I appreciate the offer," whatever it may be. It is better for you to be direct and say, "I really don't want to tonight. I want to take care of myself," but focus on what you want or don't want in those scenarios. I know I said that there were two more. I'm going to add one more to this list, and that's just the word before the final one. That's just the word "I'm sorry." A lot of us over apologize for things, and I want to encourage you that whenever possible, instead of saying I'm sorry, say thank you. You may have heard that before. And what I want to say with that is just as you say thank you for fill in the blank, you are shifting the focus away from the negative part of the experience onto the positive part. Instead of I'm sorry I'm late, you're saying thank you for waiting, right? And that there may be times where that apology is necessary, but when we are always saying I'm sorry, it kind of dilutes the word. And so I want you to save the word sorry for when you truly regret or want to change something. And when it's simply something that you are glad that the other person is understanding, I want you to say thank you instead. Now, the last word that I want to challenge you to change is the word why. Now, this may sound really strange because it's kind of like, how do you change the word why? It's a question word and you're going to sometimes have questions. The reality is that when we get asked why on something, there's an immediate part of us that gets defensive. We don't like being asked why. And our kids, they don't want us to say, why did you do that? Why are you thinking that? Why are you asking me that? It is a very defensive word. And so when you want to know why something, first of all, make sure you actually want to know why. If your kid does something and it annoys you, don't say, why would you do that? Take a moment. First of all, figure out what was it that annoyed you about that, and then tell them, I was a little irritated that that happened right there and how you handled that. Because that's actually what you want to say to them, not why did you do that, right? And the other side of it is when you really do want to know why, you can say phrases like, help me understand this. I'm a little confused, or I'm wondering what's going on here. Those kinds of phrases are softer and they let the other person feel like you're truly wanting to understand instead of them having to defend themselves to a why question. I really hope that these words and phrases are things you can shift in your life. If there are some that stand out to you as harder than others, please leave a comment below and let me know which ones may be the most helpful or even the most difficult for you. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with in terms of those responses and how much this can help. I have a lot of confidence in shifting just a few words in your day-to-day language can have a big impact on how you feel. So until next time, please take care. Bye.